a dream and I woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason my window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in a little ray of light, illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. Bordered black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, what seemed like forever, he said it, a simple phrase in a way only a man could speak. He said, "Sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled out a knife, aiming at my heart. I jumped on the top of my bed. He fought back. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. Wow. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing, I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. They'll never leave my head. Police are still on the look of this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in the story, please contact your local police department. Viewer discretion is advised.
I want my Ray back.
Is that it?
No. What's that? There's way more. I just read the intro.
Oh, because that was just...
Wow.
No, we're done.
I knew there was more to the backstory of Jeff.
I can't take this anymore!
Jeff and his family... Wait, hold on. How should I read this? Wait, so you guys are done listening to this?
I'm not.
What? Yes.
I'm not. Just keep reading.
Yes.
No,
yes,
no. We are not done. We are not done.
Okay, well then you should mute it again, because somebody wants to listen to this.
We're done.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay.
That's me. I want to read it. Okay. No, we are not done. We are not done with this.
You know what? Type it in the chat. Just let him read.
Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood, had gotten a promotion. Dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be the best in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't explain it though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son." She turns around and calls her son, "Hey! These are our new neighbors!" Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom. Hold on. Wait. Can you link me the recording of me reading? Yes, I can. Okay, so... Here we go, I'm back again. Okay, so... Well! Oh, wait. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter, and my two sons Jeff and Lou." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you invite me to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid." "Jeff," said his mother, "we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors now we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to walk, but stopped himself. Knowing that he couldn't do anything, whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room, and down on his head. Hold on, let me remake. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. He heard his mother calm down to get his stuff as he walked down to get it. Any questions?
This
Nope.
sucks.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
Just sit down and shut up.
The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there, eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but once again, dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop, and there they sat. They were waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them. It was only inches above their lap. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the pfft? The kid landed and turned back to them, and he kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. This kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears a Aeropostale striped and ripped blue jeans. Well, well, well. Looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, the two other kids appeared. One was super skinny and the other one was huge. Well, since you're the new kid here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. And he's Troy. They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was a crawling. And I, said the first kid, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes. When one of his I hope you would be more cooperative. It seems we just do. Oh my god, I can't read this. But it seems we must do this the hard way. The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou just stared him down. Jeff ignored them and walked up to the kid. Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet, or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. Oh, and what will you do? Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid's nose as Randy reached for his face. Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground screaming. I hate this chair so much. Okay. Troy rushed him too. But Jeff didn't even need the knife. He punched Troy straight in the stomach and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou couldn't do anything and look at the amazement in Jeff. Jeff, how'd you? That's all he said. They saw the bus coming and they knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver running over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made school and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others, as Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt somebody. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. Felt a strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home, do the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said, it was a wonderful day. Next morning, he heard a knock on his front door. He walked down to find two police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. They were the ones who pulled the knives out on me and Lou. Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed and 1 having a bruise on his stomach. And we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now, what does that tell us? Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou has been attacked, but there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing, because truth be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou. Son, one of the cops. Oh crap. Okay. Son, call down your brother. Jeff couldn't do it since it was him who beat up all the kids. Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou told me back, but he couldn't stop me. The cop looked at his partner, and they both nod. Well, kids, looks like a year in juvie. Wait, says Lou. They all looked up, seeing him hold a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou. It was me. I beat up those little punks. Supposed to say I have the marks, but doesn't have the marks to prove it. He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises as if he was in a struggle. Son, just put the knife down, said the officer, and the knife and dropped it to the floor. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. No, Lou, it was me. I did it. Jeff had tears running down his face. Huh, poor bro? Trying to take the blame for what I did? Well, take me away. The police led Lou out to the patrol car. Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them. I was the one who beat up those kids. Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Son, what is it? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him. As Jeff wept in the driveway, after an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house. Seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed, he couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they... He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by, with no word from Lou at JDC. No friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday, when Jeff is woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, it's the day. She opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. What's the day? Asked Jeff as he stirs awake. Why, it's Billy's party. He is now fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after there was a long pause. Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past. Now get dressed, Jeff's mother said. Went downstairs to ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his father all dressed as... Ow.
That's slurred.
Okay, son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pushed down the feelings to yell at him and hit it with a smile. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. I don't have any fancy clothes, he yelled downstairs. Just pick something, called his mother. He looked around his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants. He had for special occasions. An undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it though. So he looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which to go with the dress pants. Found his white hoodie and put it on. You're wearing that? They both said. His mother looked at the watch. Oh no, time to change. Let's go. So said as she herded Jeff. What? And his father. Okay. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door as it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, were way overdressed. As they walked inside, they could see all Jeff could see were adults and no kids. The kids are on the yard, Jeff. How about you go meet some of them, said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting at each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us setting a toy gun in a hat. What? He said. Oh no, kid, I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with a weird puppy dog face. Please? Said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. And started to pretend shoot at the kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of Lou. So he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise. A weird rolling noise. Then hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred. Okay, so this is one thing that I don't get. How the frick did they jump over the fence with only skateboards?
They must be part of the Simpsons.
They must be hacking.
Wasn't one of them fat?
Yeah.
No, no, this is how they did it. The fat one was in front, and he broke through the fence, so then they called the little remains of it the fence.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so... Hello, Jeff, is it? We have some unfinished business. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you sent my brother to JDC. Randy got an angry look on his eyes. Oh no. I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our... that one day, but not today. As he said, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed them by the ears and headbutted them. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled out guns out of their pockets. No one interrupts or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled out a knife and stabbed on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his root and grabs his foot and twists it, causes Randy to fall on the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him into the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he's kicked on the ground and Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts coughing up blood. Man. Okay, so... Come on, Jeff, fight me! He picks up Jeff and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter. He smashes the glass over Jeff's head. Fight! He throws Jeff into the back of the living room. Come on, Jeff! Fight me! Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother to JDC. And now you're gonna sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year? You should be shamed. Jeff starts to get up. Well, finally you stand up and fight. Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling he hasn't felt in a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy, as he runs at Jeff. Then, when it happens, something inside of Jeff snaps. His psyche is all destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him into the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. Punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Gosh, it's only you two? This sucks. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs upstairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith falling up behind. As he let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack off the wall and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away from the bangs. The towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard. And now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, but ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell on top of him. It burnt both of them. Wait, what? It burnt both of them, and they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung into Keith's head. As he lay there bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. "What's so funny?" asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. "What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol." Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol and vodka. While the alcohol burned him and bleached his skin, Jeff let out a terrible scream or screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff. Now a man on fire dropped to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke up, a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it fell out. The nurse rushed in. I don't think he can get out of bed just yet. And as he put him back in the bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision and no idea what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. "Honey, are you okay?" she asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak. "Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed of trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go. This made Jeff almost stopping the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow. Then you two will be able to be together again." Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. The couple of weeks where those were, Jeff was visited by his family and came where his bandages were removed. His family were all there to see it. What he would look like as the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face. Everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding to cover his face was almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face. What? What happened to my face? Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran into the bathroom. He looked at the mirror and in the cause of distress, his face, it's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was burnt to a pure white color. His hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand on face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back to his family, then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lou. It's not that bad. Not that bad, said Jeff. It's perfect. His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay? I've never felt more happy. Look at me. The face goes perfectly with me. He can't stop laughing. Oh! He stroked his face with it. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that Jeff was fighting Randy something in his mind. His sanity snapped. Now he's left a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know. Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son alright? You know, in the head? Oh, yes. This behavior is typical for patients that have been taking very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here. We'll give him a psychological test. Oh, thank you, Doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still in a crazy smile. Okay, mommy. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. This is what came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie his son wore. Now, they were clean of blood, now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him into his room and made him put more clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Okay, good. Oh my god, such a freaking scary picture. Okay. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. The sound of someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. It looked like when she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes. His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. It got tired and my eyes started to close. Burned out the eyelids so that I can forever see myself, my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. You are. Let me go get Daddy, so he can see your face. Into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun. He stopped as Jeff in the doorway holding a knife. Lied. That was the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with a knife, getting both of them. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up. Before Jeff's hand could cover his mouth, he slowly raised his knife and be ready to plunge into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep. That is it. It's the ending. definitely way too long to upload.